Good evening again, my NSL family and fans. How are we this evening? It's your boy Maverick coming back at you with another quick pod on, uh, you know, dealings and stuff with the NSL here. As I was with my last podcast, kind of give you an overview of what we do here, um, at the NSL headquarters, the family itself. Today I'm gonna do something a little different, and I think it might be a series that we might be, uh, at least I will be trying to get doing and stuff, and that's past lottery. I'm sorry, past draft classes. Um, Today I want to hit on the 2021 draft class, and I'm gonna speak specifically on the NSL draft because obviously the NBA draft we follow because of the same guys and everything we're going to draft, but we're like I said before, man, some of the GMs in this league are a little smarter than some real GMs in real life actually. So, but I kind of wanted to do a little like grading, deal or something like that, based on um, the draft picks that we had in the past. And I figured let's start with 2021 because it's the most recent. That's not just 1 year out, or this year's this season hasn't even finished. But at least we have some sort of you know an idea of what player that was drafted, and I don't really want to hit so much on um, how the real counterpart is in real NBA. Although I'll mention that, and kind of the only I guess the only comparison I want to really do is are they the same? Let's say for instance, Cade Cunningham was the number one pick. Um, and it's not a lot of it, and sort of I guess I'll start it now, right? So the number one pick is I kind of want to do like a grading system, so to speak, and I'll go from the pluses, like the A plus to maybe an F. And this is again just my opinion on some of these draft picks that that we had with the NSL and how they fare really with the NSL ranking itself, like how impactful the player is, um, to again sample size, to their NBA counterpart. Real quickly, I'll do that. The NBA like, but just kind of show you how effective a glitch player is in the 2K realm. Um, so that's what we have going on. Again, um, the first pick that season, and I'm just gonna go with who actually selected the pick. If it was traded or whatever, I'm not gonna go through any of the history or whatever. Um, but whoever selected the pick, not really the origin either. Like I said, I'm not gonna go through trades. But the first pick in the 2021 draft for the NSL that went to the Lakers, and again they picked Kate Cunningham, same as in the NBA. Kate Cunningham went first. Now, Kate is an impactful player, being a larger guard, and if you don't know much about 2K, especially with this engine, this season, size does matter. Smaller guards get eaten up. I don't care how good you are. If you're not 6'4" and above, the percentage of you being an impactful player, uh, you know, goes down significantly. Um, but Kate's height being at I think it's 6'7", 6'8", um, he is he's like the cornerstone for the Lakers in the NSL, and in the NBA it's unfortunate because we do deal with injuries as well in the NSL. It's really the simulation aspect of it is really high, and spot on pretty much. Um, so it's a kind of like a small sample size we have with Cade. And if I didn't mention this, and I do apologize, I'm just gonna do the first rounds of these, and then I'll nitpick some of the second rounders to see there were some steals. but I don't really want to go through the entire draft, just mainly the first round, if if time allows. Um, but yeah, there hasn't been really a sample size since last season, including this season in the real NBA. Cade has not even played 82 games at all for his counterpart in the NBA, which is the Pistons. So he hasn't really had one full season yet. So time's gonna tell on Cade because of the injury aspect, and because there was more impactful players that we'll speak of, down the line here. I'm going to give Cade's grade, and it's not anything saying on the the future of this guy or whatever, but as of now, I will give them a B plus, tinkering on an A, because I do see the value in Cunningham. Once he's uh, once he's healthy, he will be a very impactful player in our league and in the NBA. You know what I mean? Especially with the young core they have there in Detroit. But for the Lakers, like I said, he's our cornerstone. So that puts us at a B plus level, tinkering on an A. Quick disclaimer, guys. I know most of you guys know, but I just recently had surgery. Still have the bubble deal to back that up, but eye surgery, and I'm under a white light right now, so I'll be, I'm not really winking at you guys, so just know that, okay. Um, I'm, sensitive to light, and having a white background in our webpage kind of makes it a little harder. So if you see me kind of struggling with some of the stats, or I'm not even sure if I'm going to go over a lot of stats, but just some of the the commentary on it, whatever, even the names. Just please, bear with me, forgive me. The second pick actually was with the Atlanta Hawks, and they chose Jalen Green. Now, Green, again, he's impactful in the NSL. He is a top 100 player. As a matter of fact, he's right at 50. And if you see him in Houston, he had a late start, obviously, in real NBA. But another one of those guys that are um, cornerstone, so to speak. And he is now with the Lakers. So I don't, like I said, I wasn't going to talk about trades or whatever. So specifically, just who picked him. Um, Again, going through the value, and I'm not going to do a reorder or reshuffling of a draft. So we're just going to go with what was picked. The Jalen Green pick to me, just for his versatility, but in comparison with what we know now. So this is gonna be one of those hindsight 2020 deals. I'm sorry, but I have to give the Jalen Green pick a B, just for the talent that was and could have been used and was more impactful, um, you know, down the road. As a matter of fact, our next pick. Um, the number three pick was picked by Milwaukee Bucks, and they picked Evan Mobley. And if you do follow, basketball, you'll see that Evan Mobley is one of those defensive stalwarts. And in NSL realms, now the ranking of them, if you go into our webpage and you can see the rankings, is not as high as Cunningham nor Jalen Green, but the ranking system doesn't take into account the intangibles. And if you do follow basketball, Evan Mobley was one of those steals of the draft type. I personally agreed with the rookie of the year talk and all that, and I would have voted that way. As a matter of fact, it didn't go to him. I think it went to Scotty Barnes. As a matter of fact, but he was one of those impactful, and still is to this day. Um, you have to you have to consider with what Mobley and his future is. Um, as of right now, I have that as an A, for the fact that he went three in our draft. Now, um, it's easy, and it could be, for being a 7 footer, it could be argued that it was an A plus pick, and really and truly, in my heart of hearts, would be an A plus pick. But going into now here NBA speak, sorry, but with NBA speak, um, you have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, and while that's the defensive juggernauts down low, rim protectors, um, at some point, you're going to be missing, some offense. So if Evan Mobley basically gets a better shot, I think he would be one of the more dominant players. So I'll give him an A for right now, which is not knocking, the pick itself or Mobley. I mean, an A is a really, really good grade, I believe. But look for that to be increased if I ever revisit this video later. Um, the next pick, which was by the Orlando Magic, was Jalen Suggs. Unfortunately, um, that's going to be one of my lower grades. Um, because like I said, of the fact that what comes next or talent level that came next. Um, Suggs really has not, for whatever reason, panned out. After an exceptional college career, has not panned out, and I'm gonna give that grade D minus for right now. Suggs really, and that's honestly, I was wanting to give it an F, um, and probably deserve to be an F because you're picking a player at number 4, which historically has been impactful in the NBA, but you do have your misses, and this was one big miss, unfortunately, in the NSL at least. Um, he is not very good in the NSL either. So D minus for Jalen Suggs. The next pick, which was the eventual Rookie of the Year, I believe in the NBA, was selected by the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that's Scotty Barnes. I know top of my head, Scotty's not with Minnesota anymore. I don't believe he is. Um, he may be. I'm sorry. He may be. But knowing Ethan, he's been in trade mode this season, so it's kind of hard to remember. I'm not trying to look at any trade information or whatever. So I digress. Sorry, going back to it. Scotty is definitely one of those that diamond in the rough, and I know he was picked early top 10 in the NBA, so I can't really say, oh, he was one of those guys that just was a definite steal or whatever. But if you're dealing with a top 10, and dealing after 5, or just right at 5, it's sometimes it has been a crapshoot. This was one of those drafts that was. Um, but Scotty Barnes, the pick itself was an excellent pick at the time. He is still impactful in our league as well, and I'm definitely giving that one an A as well. Um, I believe Scotty could become one of those cornerstones that he had sort of had a lull a little bit this season in the real NBA. Sophomore jinx they call it, whatever. But he still didn't really go that bad. So I'm gonna stick with a hard A on that one. Scotty Barnes, that was 5. The number 6 pick was selected by the Boston Celtics, and that was Jonathan Kuminga. Now that was one of those without kind of debated in real NBA. He was drafted by the Warriors, and Kuminga, tweener type player, um, has not really solidified himself, even in the NSL as well. So I'm gonna give that grade, and only I'll give him a little bit better than Suggs, only because of where he was drafted. And I know it's only two steps down, but I'm gonna have to give that grade a D, just because he hasn't really panned out. Like I said, we may revisit these 2021. 4 years from now, so it'll be 5 years in the league, whatever. I just wanted to kind of go backwards a little bit. So maybe in the next pod we're going to do the 2020 draft, but for now, we'll stick with going backwards a little bit. And we had again Kaminga with a D. Now here's going to be one of my better grades. Drafted by Utah. At the number 7 was Josh Giddey. At the time, many thought was a stretch pick by Oklahoma City in the NBA. He went, I think, one lower in our draft than he did in the NBA. But Giddy has been nothing but phenomenal. And for a 7 pick, that's definitely going to get an A. He has been one of the most versatile players, uh, great facilitator. He plays really, really well in the real NBA and all that. But he is, a value here in our league as well. So, yeah, Giddy definitely deserves that grade. Here's another one that's going to dip a little bit. Cleveland selected Davion Mitchell at number 8. Um, and Mitchell had a great rookie season, but just fell out of the rotation this season for whatever reason in real NBA with Sacramento. Again, one of those small guards that doesn't really do much. I was offered Mitchell several times in NSL trades, and I just, I come to understand that it's a lot better than going with this than with this, and knowing that a 6'1" guard in the NSL is really, and one that doesn't, his numbers are not really good. His attributes are not really good either. Wasn't going to fare well. Um, he was drafted top 10. Really not a good pick at this compared to like a couple that are going to be coming up. So I'm also going to give Davion Mitchell a D minus grade because of the fact that you know he should be a lot better compared to what. Now that was a sophomore drop off, definitely. So he was a lot better as a rookie. Um, with the number 9 pick, we had the Celtics again picking in the top 10. And in all honesty, from what I've seen in 2 years, especially this year, this is Alperen Şengün, was a home run. In all honesty, at the at very best home run, at very least a triple. Um, this guy has shown, and again, a lot of detractors are going to tell me that, well, yeah, he's playing at a bad, Rockets team in real life, whatever. But Şengün has shown for his size and being at the number 9 position, um, you know, signs of dominance. Honestly, now he might be a defensive liability in real NBA, so it does translate to the NSL. Although in NSL, I think he has better numbers defensively, I believe. But give this guy some time. I think there's gonna be a lot of people happy with that pick, and so I'll give Şengün pick right now a very soft B plus. But I really wanted to give him an A. I just needed, I need to see a little bit more. Like I said, get his defense up a little bit. And I think he's gonna be one of those guys we talk 5 years from now. We're like, oh my God, this guy went lower, and we did a redraft or whatever. He'd be a little bit higher than where he is now. So with the tens, we're gonna drop off with the top 10. The Hawks had another pick at 10, and that was James Bouknight. Now, it's very kind of soon to talk about how not impactful this guy is, and he's had a little run-ins with the law, I believe, that I think affected, because he was in a rotation really with the Hornets in the NBA, but then just for whatever reason, just like Davion Mitchell, just fell off of the rotation. And in the NSL, he is not impactful whatsoever at all. The Book Night, because he is a top 10, as bad as he is on our NSL, and like I said, he's not that much better in NBA. This is literally going to be my first F grade. You're a top 10 pick. You're expected to do a lot more, and he's one of those swingman type that just doesn't have anything to bring to the table. As far as relevance, whatever, in our league or whatever. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's not utilized correctly or whatever, but it's sort of like going, the parallelism with the NBA is almost the same. So I'm just going to give that our first F of the evening. Our number 11 was drafted. It's going to be kind of recurring because he's going to be another Boston pick. They had several, as a matter of fact, 3 in the first top 11 picks. So they did pick Moses Moody, who had a very like they were touting him with the Warriors last season. Um, and then again, I guess the Warriors are really really good. Not really, in that rotation much at all. With the Warriors, at least another parallel guy that is sort of similar in the NSL as he is in the NBA. And so I'm gonna give Moody a D minus grade. You're still in the lottery. You're still a lottery pick. I do believe though, in my heart of hearts, that we revisit this video, Moody would probably get a better grade. I think he does have that talent. He's again one of those tweeners, swingmen. He just has to learn the game a little bit more. But like I said, he's talented, very 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 talented. Moving on, we're going to go with now. This was a pick with the Nuggets. Was Jalen Johnson. I didn't really follow Jalen too much. His rookie year or whatever. He's sort of I guess a big man as well. Plays I think power forward. He's a shooting power forward, I think. So he's gonna be one of those, you know, in between guys, stretch, I guess you call him, whatever. I believe he's 6'10". We have him listed at 6'9". But either way, Johnson, another not much of an impact type of guy. I'm not sure where he's at now. It showed that Denver did pick him, and because of that, and he's, like I said, lottery. I'm still gonna give him a 12. I'm gonna give this grade our first C minus. Only because he's still doing a little bit better. I couldn't dip him down to the D's because the guys that are in the D's right now, D tier, are worse than he is. So he's gonna be a first C minus, and only time will tell on him. But I mean, he could be one of those that's gonna go up and eventually potentially be a B plus player. He could be out of the league, in the next 3 years. Who knows? But yeah, that's who we have with Jalen Johnson. Another guy I'm sort of high on because of this season at 13. The Clippers drafted Corey Kispert. Kispert has literally come to his own as of late in the NBA. He's not very highly rated in our league, and I think that might be because of usage. And he's on a powerhouse team. I believe he's with Portland. I believe he's with Portland. So his minutes may not be, and that's might be the indicator because his NBA counterpart is a lot better, and he's gotten a little bit better. And being at 13, the last pick from the final pick of the lottery, I'm still gonna give him a C plus, only because, and I do have, and it's really really teetering on that B minus. Just had to see a lot more from him. He's a good sized at 6'7", 6'8" guy. And he is a shooter. I mean, he's really, he's one of those kind of dead-eye guys. And I don't want to say dead-eye as the badge or anything like that, but he's one of those, pretty good shooters. I think he's going to get a lot better. They have open in his team in the NBA, I believe, is the Washington. They're one of those shooting teams, whatever. They have open space because they're stretch guy Porzingis and Bradley Beal and everything like that leaves guys like that pretty open all the time. So I'm pretty high on this guy, so he deserves that grade. With the last pick in the lottery, we had no, it was Golden State. I was looking at his current team, and I was right about Kispert. He is with Portland. Golden State selected Zaire Williams. I was sort of after Williams myself all last season. As a rookie, so I don't want to bash him or anything like that because he actually is a valuable player in the NSL. Not so much in the NBA, but in the NSL itself, value player. And being the last pick of the lottery, I'm gonna give Williams a solid B minus as well. And like I said, I was totally after him, whatever. But we're getting to the point where the grades are going to be that good now. In the final, second half of the first round, unless they're like big time steals or something like that. And I believe we have one that's a complete, not sad story type. So I won't grade that one, but I'll give you, an idea of what he should have been. But we'll get to that now. With the 15th pick, we had the Clippers selecting Trey Murphy the third. I'm very high on Murphy. He's in a perfect situation, great shooter, perfect situation in New Orleans in real life, in real NBA. He is a parallel counterpart, um, with the NBA, to NSL, and he's one of those guys that you'd love to have on your team. He's a bench player. Obviously, I don't think they're starting him um, in our NSL. I believe he had some starter minutes in the NBA because injuries, whatever. Keep banging this. Sorry about that. If it's really loud. Um, but I'm definitely going to give Trey Murphy a B plus grade. He's second half of the first round. One of those, that's what I said, diamond in the rough. Right now I'd say he's a ruby in the rough, whatever. But is one of those players that you'd love to have on your team. So good for him. Here's one that's going to deserve their grade. The 16th pick went to Utah again. This was a fantastic pick. I can't tell you enough, but hindsight 2020, that's what we're saying it now. We're almost 2 years removed from the picks, right? Um, and that's Franz Wagner. And Wagner has become one of those staple players. He he doesn't he doesn't correlate parallel wise to NBA in our league, and that just might be for minutes or whatever. Um, but in the NBA, he's one of the most impactful big men there is, stretch bigs. This definitely is going to get an A from me. So Franz Wagner, A. Then we have the 17th pick going to Toronto. That was going to be Kai Jones. Kai's another a big guy that does play well in our league. And again, these grades are basically our league grades, not what I think they are NBA guys are now. If I do say the parallelism, whatever, then it's obviously what I'm grading, in the NBA as well. Because Franz went higher up, I believe, in the NBA. But Kai Jones, one of those impactful bigs in our league. So I'm going to have to give that a C plus. Um, Only because like I said, there were some players drafted after him that were that are, I should say, a little bit better in our league. Um, so yeah, Kai Jones C plus grade. One of those guys again that three seasons from now we could be saying, or the next video for this draft we could be saying he's a B tier guy. Could be out of the league too. You know what I mean? Now here's our NA. Our first NA went at 18 to Memphis, and this was Josh Primo. Uh, Primo, I'm not gonna grade him obviously because he's not in our league. He's not in the NBA. But he was gonna be one of those steal the draft types. I mean, he had that going for him. In all honesty, he was playing very well in San Antonio, and then gets himself in a situation that we won't speak of. You can Google that up all you want. So we'll move on. With the 19th pick, one of the guys that's kind of surprising this season, and then because of big trades that happened in the NBA, and then just dropped off recently for whatever reason. But Chicago drafted Cam Thomas, and he went to the 80 club, I think, overall. Very recently, he was dropping 40 a night, like 25 to 40 a night. Once that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving trades went down, whatever in real NBA, hasn't really translated as much in the NSL. He's one of those I'm going to give a poor grade for, obviously, because small guard. I'm going to give him a D minus as well. But I have expectations this guy is going to be a lot better. And if they change the engines to where small guards don't really matter much, or they're going to be a lot better, and we had engines like that, by the way, I'll give him a higher grade. But for now, that's what Cam Thomas gets. the 20th pick went to Denver, um, and that was Keon Johnson, another swing man, whatever, and not impactful whatsoever. I'm gonna try to run through these a little bit faster if I can, because I think I already hit the 30-minute mark. Um, Keon Johnson D minus. I really couldn't give him an F because we have a sample size in both NBA and the NSL. Still a first rounder, but compared to other players, I still have to give him that grade. The next pick was at 21 to Denver again. They had back-to-back picks. This is where, at the time, they hit a home run. One of those diamonds in the rough. Bones Highland. Bones Highland was very, very, very impactful when he was playing with the Nuggets in the real NBA. Then he gets a little tiff, decides, I'm not getting the minutes I deserve, so I want to be traded. Gets traded to the Clippers at the deadline, I believe, and they gave him less minutes. So there's that. Bones, though, does get a C plus for now, and that dropped, actually. I would have said, if we would have talked last season, Bones was definitely going to be in the A minus maybe realm, B plus for sure. But that's the grade he's going to get today. With the next pick, 22, the Clippers, another pick they had, Usman Garuba. Garuba is one of those, small big men. We have him listed at 6'8". I believe he's taller than that. Anyway, not very impactful, trade fodder type, player or whatever. I will still give that a D minus because we're getting lower in the draft, and with what's left, you were kind of going like kind of crapshoot type, So yeah. 23 had Chris Duarte going to the Jazz, Utah. Duarte was impactful at the his rookie season, still sort of as well. I'm going to give him a little higher grade, B minus in this one, because he's a bigger swing man. You know what I mean? He's a shooting guard, I believe, that can run. I guess he can run the ball up the court. So you need some of those ball handler types, and he can shoot. Has okay defense, whatever. So he does deserve that grade. I actually picked the next guy, Jaden Springer. If y'all didn't know, I was on a road trip when this draft was happening. We do our drafts live, and I was on a road trip at the time with earphones on, and still typing away and trying to. And I think I was sick, in all honesty. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That was a big miss. In all accounts, I drafted very, very poorly, especially with some of the guys that came after. Nothing I can do, but the guys got drafted before. There's nothing to do. But Jaden Springer is an F for Dallas for me. That was an F pick. He is no longer on. I saw the trajectory. I got rid of him really, really quick, and I think the new GM who I traded to, has been trying to get rid of him too. I thought he'd be more impactful in Philadelphia. He was with, he got drafted really with Philadelphia in real life, rather. But no, F pick. Next pick, Isaiah Todd went to the Pelicans. And Todd is one of those, again, useful bigs that I'm going to give a D to because, and you'll notice I'm not really harsh on the bigs unless they're really bad. But picking a big this far down, and especially in this engine, and especially with his attributes and what he's doing in the league, solid D. The next pick was at 26. Josh Christopher was selected by Phoenix. Christopher was a guy that I was going after a lot. It was that and Jayshawn Tate. As a matter of fact, Tate is actually on my team now. He's an impactful player in the NSL. He does not really, the parallelism in the NBA is not really there. He's not really getting a lot of impactful minutes with Houston. But I'm going to give this because it's a late pick in the first round. I'm going to give this a solid C minus. Only because I like the guy. So small, he's just like Jayshawn Tate. As a matter of fact, I think they might be one and the same, honestly. But he still manages to give you good numbers in our NSL. So yeah. The next one is going to be one of those, glad you found me, diamond in the rough types. I'm going to give this guy a pretty good grade. OKC drafted Isaiah Jackson, and Jackson's one of the better big men in our league, for sure. Sort of good in real NBA too. He is an A. Isaiah Jackson, somebody I should have drafted, so I'm definitely going to give this dude an A. The next pick went to Phoenix again. They had a pick, then OKC and Phoenix again. And they drafted Trey Mann. Um, you know, taller, I guess he runs a point, shooting guard type, whatever. Um, Not really impactful in our NSL, but I'm going to give him a little bit better grade because of A, his size, and B, he is an actual pretty good player. He's better in the NBA than he is in our league, and I think that might just be for minutes. But I'm going to give Trey Mann pick this low at 28 a C minus. I think he's going to be one of the better players that comes out. So the next pair for sure would be a better grade. I just want to make this clear in the NBA than he is going to be here in our league. So I need you to keep that in mind before you see this part. It's like, oh, you're crazy. The 29th pick by the Spurs was Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes he just, I think he broke the Knicks rotation, starter. But he is absolute a dud here in our NSL for whatever reason. And I'm guessing he's going to be with he's with Oklahoma right now. And maybe that might be utilization. I don't know. But I still have to grade it on what we have in our grade. I'm going to give Grimes this down a little bit. I'm going to shake a little bit because of the NBA. I know this guy might be a little bit better. Maybe with a better engine, he might be running a little bit better. But at 28, this is a C minus grade. And that's just a grade, Quentin, for NSL, not for NBA. But yes, that's the grade he gets. And our the final pick of the first round, Philadelphia chose one of the better bigs in our league, young guy, Daron Sharp, and he's come a lot better lately in the NBA as well. This is going to get a solid A as well. Getting Sharp this late, um, and still with Philadelphia, so Philly knows um, the value he had at that pick. So Daron Sharp, solid A on that one. I'm gonna just skim through some of these second rounders to see if there was. I know there was one that I saw before I started making the video that was a complete steal. These aren't gonna be in any order as far as draft number or whatever, but Golden State literally got, and I know he's like one of those feel good guys, so to speak, in the NBA as well. But Jericho Sims, he was selected with our 44. So Jericho, welcome to the A plus club. He is a top 100 player in our league. Uh, monster big in our league. A plus, definitely an A plus. Some other shout outs that we have. I know we had somebody in the top 200 in the second round, and let me just grab this guy real quick. Um, let's see, that would have been just teetering, in the top 200 as well. That two guys on there, but in real life, you'll know Herb Jones. Herb Jones um, at number 41. Just about 3 picks before. At 41, he went to Brooklyn. Herb Jones, one of the better players in New Orleans in real life. Really, 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 good pickup. Again, second round. Nobody knows. A lot of these guys like to, trade, and I'm one of them. They like to trade their picks. As far as second rounders are concerned, we do have where we can sell our picks, but that doesn't include first rounders anymore. But I may be keeping some of these, depending on how high up they are in the second round, because some of these second rounders come out to be, your Jerichos, and your Adamis and all that. So, we had some, pretty good sort of parallels in our second rounders as well as the NBA because you have like guys like Io in here and everything, but not impactful in NSL, so I'm not gonna really grade those. But well, there we have it, guys. I wanted to revisit the NSL, mind you, again, NSL 2021 draft class. Kind of give you the grades. I hope some of you guys have been checking out our website, NBASimLeague.com. Um, and there's a waiting list right now. We just lost one general manager, as a matter of fact, so I'm guessing that's going to get filled here pretty quick. Um, but yeah, like I said, if some of you guys my fellow general managers, think it was too harsh, that's just what I'm grading it based on our NSL numbers and everything like that. But yeah, so we have a great group of guys here. Whatever, reach out, you guys out in the real world, whatever, want to join a fantastic family-oriented fantasy type league, sim league. Yeah, just reach out to us. But that was it, guys, for the Boozers Club. We have the 2021 NSL Draft grading one year later, almost 2 years later. Well, you guys have a great one. We'll see you around.